In this video series, I'm going to show you how to build your own automated trading execution bot completely for free. Disclaimer, this is not a signal selling channel or financial advice. When I first started trading, my equity curve looked exactly how you expected, straight down. Not because my ideas were bad, but because my emotions were. I would overtrade, hesitate, revenge trade, all the classics of a Wall Street gambler. So instead of trying to fix myself, I built a machine. I'm an artificial intelligence major, and I created an automated execution system that started on Thinkorswim logic and then later on evolved to Python. Once execution was removed from my emotions, the curve eventually stabilized where it flipped upwards, where I am today a profitable trader. That's what this series is about. Not predicting the market, but executing consistently. Now, I'm not going to teach you Python from scratch. You should already be comfortable programming. And if you're not, go check out Harvard CS50. It is hands down the best starting point. And of course, it has to be free. With that out of the way, let me show you how to build this system. To keep everything running smoothly, I'm going to have a token refresh process running 24/7 alongside the main trading bot. The trading bot will fetch historical data just to build a solid starting point. After that, it will switch to streaming live data. As the new data comes in, the bot combines it with previously stored data and runs these stored strategies. Every time a new candle closes, it checks for a signal, and if a signal hits, the bot immediately sends the orders. With this setup, our system will be fully automated, always updated, and ready to execute trades the moment the conditions are met. This is the trading bot taking a live trade. You'll see it running side by side with the Thinkorswim chart using the exact same strategy. And if you notice this, the buy signal triggered on Thinkorswim at the exact same time as it triggered on for my bot. This is the type of message Thinkorswim sends to you when you place a trade using a bot. On my phone, you can see that it shows I took a bot trade of +2 shares of TQQQ at $52.20, which corresponds to the strategy. Overall, this proves that you can build a strategy in Thinkorswim, translate it to Python, and then have it synced to be fully automated in your trading. Before we start coding the bot, we need to make sure we have the full setup in place. For this series, I'm focusing on using Charles Schwab API. The reason I chose this is because it's free, powerful, and flexible. If you want to swap out pieces for later on, such as different brokers or platforms, you can. To get the API, you'll need the Charles Schwab account. Just search online for Charles Schwab, create account, press the Charles Schwab URL, then go to individual brokerage and wait for it to load. After it finishes loading, go down and press get started. Now, this is the page where you will be able to put your credentials and create the account. Once finished creating the account, I would also recommend to download the Thinkorswim platform. After that, spend some time learning and getting comfortable with it, since it's an extremely useful tool for charting and backtesting. Once that's done, you'll need access to the Schwab API. You'll need to create a separate developer account, and to do that, you need to search for Charles Schwab developer account and sign up. One important detail, make sure the name on your main Schwab account matches the name you use on a developer account. I ran into an issue when mine didn't match, so save yourself some headache. After you got all that in place, then we can start building the bot. Also, all of the URLs are in the description, such as the Charles website as well as the Charles developer website. This is the Charles Schwab developer portal after you log in. If you scroll down, you'll see information on the different services the API provides. We're going to focus on the I'm developing for myself. Click into Trader API Individual, and you'll see two core products, account and production, as well as market data and production. These are the backbone for the API calls we'll be using. When you open the market data product, you'll see a full list of API endpoints available for pulling data and historical market data. If you switch over to the documentation tab, you'll find the streaming API docs. You can stream up to around 500 symbols at once, and that is huge for real time trading strategies. Now, going back to the Trader API individual, you can also check out the account and trading production. This is where you'll find the documentation for account actions, things like getting order history, checking balances, as well as sending live trades. To use the market data and trading products, we need to create an app for each one. In the upper right corner of the Schwab developer portal, next to your profile, you see a button labeled Dashboard. Click that and it will take you to your app dashboard. Since I've already created apps, you'll see two in my screen, but if for you, it should be empty since it's your first time. Now, if you click the green Create App button, it will take you to a form where you can select an API product. For this example, we're going to create a market data production app. You'll notice the form technically allows multiple products at once, but you won't be able to submit it that way. Schwab only approves one API per app, so we'll stick with market data for now. For the order limit, I set mine to 120 requests per minute. You can name the app anything, so I'll just call this one garbage code. I'll also put trade bot in the description field, but that's optional. Now, here's the important part. The form asks for a callback URL. This is how the app sends back your authentication token. Now it's time for our next step, creating the callback URL. We're going to use Railway for that. The easiest way to do this is by deploying a GitHub repository. If you don't already have GitHub, I would recommend creating an account. GitHub is a platform used by millions of people for storing and sharing code. Everything I will be building in this theory will be publicly available there. I'll be using Visual Studios as my editor, but any editor will work. To configure our URL, we'll need to install Flask. So in your terminal, run pip install Flask. Flask is a lightweight Python web framework. In simple terms, it let us create a web server using just a few lines of code. We'll need to create a Python file. So right-click your Explorer tab and click New File. I'll name the file app.py. Going to create a quick Flask template for a callback URL. Now, when we run the Python app.py file, it should start up a server. Our Flask server is up and running. We're going to need to host it somewhere. You can use any hosting service you want, but Railway has been the most reliable option for me. Go to your browser and search for railway.com. Click sign in, then choose your preferred login method. I'm signing in through GitHub, so I'll click continue with GitHub and authorize the connection. This is the Railway dashboard. Railway offers a free tier, and what we're building isn't going to use many resources at all. So it's more than enough for this project. I also use Railway for hosting databases. It's simple, reliable, and fast to deploy. Next, we're going to press the plus new button to create our project. From here, we'll be prompted to create a GitHub repository that will hold the code we're going to deploy. If you don't already have GitHub, I would recommend creating an account. GitHub is a platform used by millions of people for storing and sharing code. Everything I will be building in this theory will be publicly available there. Once you're signed into GitHub, create a new repository. Transfer the app file that we created into the new repository. There we go. I will also add a new folder called web. Now let me check if everything's up and running by running the Flask file. There we go. The server is up and perfect. Before we transfer this to Heroku, we'll need to configure it in a way that it would understand how to run this application. To do that, you will need to create a new file called procfile. The purpose of this file is to give Heroku the path and the file that it should run. So what this is stating is in the web folder, there's an app file that it runs app. We also need to give it the dependencies for this project. You do that by making a requirements.txt file. And for now, we only have two, which is gonna corn and Flask. Switch back to Railway and select the repository that you just created. Now, when you press the web service, it shows this, but that's because my account don't have the plan to use this. But I do have another account that has it, so I'll go ahead and switch to that one instead. There we go. I'm in my other account. I deployed the repository again. Now, to get the URL for it, I need to go to settings and create one. So generate domain. There we go. You could copy it and paste it. And beautiful. Now that we have our domain up and running, we could actually go back to Charles Schwab, where we were creating the app and add that as the callback URL. Even though the logic for the callback URL is yet to be finished, it should still allow us to put the one that we have right now. And it's good to do that when you submit the application for the app. It takes some time to get verified. Copy and paste the URL that you got and paste it as your callback URL. Then press create to create the app. After creating the market data in production, create another app by pressing the green create app button and create an account in training production API product. Now, the status might not be ready for use. It might be for pending, but just give it some time for you to get verified. Also, while creating the account in training production, you can use the same callback URL as you did for the market data production. This is a good place to wrap up. So in our next video, we're coding and setting up our callback URL. If you want help or want to go deeper into any part of this process, Feel free to join my Discord. It's in the link down below. I will also link all the URLs for creating the accounts.